All right, guys, so we're 6 episodes in now. Likely, if you follow the steps that I've listed from the last 6 episodes and including this one, you could easily drop 20 to 30 pounds. Easily drop 20 to 30 pounds without even thinking. And the thing I stress is that you be patient in this process. You want to take your time. That's the important thing. If you watched the last video, which is likely the most important video, and I'm thankful that you guys, really supported it. It got the most views. Go back and watch that video, because if you think starting a plan like this with a cardio routine or running, if you think running is your answer to weight loss, then you really need to go back and start and watch everything over, because you're going to be completely lost at this point. In order to make it past, this point now, let's say we've lost 20, 30 pounds, guys, we got to start getting real smart. And your body's going to start fighting you. At this point, this is where most people, they fall out. And what ends up happening is they end up gaining all the weight that they lost, and they gain even more. And it's happened to me. It's happened to me many, many times, guys. And that's because your body fights you. Your body doesn't want to continue losing weight at this point. This is where you're going to be, if you lost 20, 30 pounds, you're going to be in decent shape likely. You're starting to lose weight. You've been in a deficit for a long time. So I'm going to get a little scientific with you guys. We're going to talk some hormones during this episode. I'm going to explain a little bit of the physiology of what's going on in your body. This is going to be super important, because once you understand this, then you can make calculated decisions when you get to this point in your diet. Because the goal of this episode, this series, is so you can take what I'm giving you here, apply it to yourself without any help. And if this sounds like a lot, we have a training plan. But as a coach, I'm not one of those coaches who likes to hold on to my clients forever. I want to teach you our system. I want you to become independent, and I want you to live with this and do it for yourself, or I didn't do my job. You see what I'm saying? As a trainer, I want to teach you. I don't want to just have you for 3 years making no results because I didn't do my job. So like I said, you guys aren't going to be cutting forever. There needs to be breaks when you're cutting. There's hormones in your body that will go against you, that are going to decrease. For example, leptin. Leptin is a hormone in your body that manages hunger. It basically is the hormone that is responsible for sending the signal to your brain that's basically giving you that internal stimulus that you're hungry, right? So this is a very important hormone for survival. And this hormone is constantly regulated depending on how much food you're eating, right? Or how little food you're eating. Okay, guys? So likely now you're 20 to 30 pounds down. You're not eating as much food that your body, is used to having. You're in a deficit. So how the body fights you is it starts decreasing this hormone, leptin, right? So how do we continue dropping weight? And how do we, combat the effects of decreased leptin? Because your body thinks, you're in a calorie deficit, you're in a famine. So what are we going to do? We're going to increase your appetite so that you go out and you go hunt and you get food. That's the whole point, guys. It's your body's pretty much fighting against you at this point now. And like I said, this is where most people don't make it anymore. I didn't make it past this point. 4 or 5 years ago, when I last time I did a big transformation like this, I got caught here. And I think I still could have lost 15 more pounds if I would have approached things a little bit differently. And that's what I ended up doing this year. I was able to, drop an extra 20, 30 pounds. And this is why I say you have to be patient. If you haven't seen that video, you guys need to go watch. I think it's episode 2. You need to be patient. So what we're going to talk about now is diet breaks. And I definitely did this. It was huge for me. So we're going to talk about how they work, what it means, how you can utilize this diet break to, 1, increase your leptin, which is that signal that's telling your body you're hungry. If we can increase leptin, that signal will go away, right? And 2, why the diet break can help you increase your metabolism, right? Because likely you've been dieting for a long time. You're losing a lot of weight, and your body responds by decreasing its metabolism. But it's not in the sense that your metabolism actually slows down. So what ends up happening is that you have what everyone calls is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT. From now on, we'll just call it NEAT. Basically what that is, it's all the calories you burn that's not related to exercise. So for example, when you're moving your leg, when you get up just to take a walk, when you're fidgeting, when you're moving, shuffling your feet, or standing at a desk. And standing at a desk is a big one. That's a big way to increase your NEAT. So these are all calories that you're burning when you're actually not doing any exercise. So if this goes up, you're going to be burning more calories. It'll increase your metabolism, if that makes sense, as a result. This is kind of huge. So when you're in a long deficit, your leptin goes down and your non-exercise activity thermogenesis goes down because you stop moving. Your body wants to gain weight, so it fights you by not moving anymore. So this is why you have to include things like cardio. You need to track your steps, things like that, if you want to be, objective about it. So how do you beat your body, essentially, right? Because your body's now fighting you, right? It's sending signals to fight you. Doesn't want to lose any more weight. You've been losing weight for a long time. Now what do we do to trick the body so that we don't have these signals working against us? You got to trick your body. So the best thing you can do is take a diet break. That way your body forgets that it's on a diet. And this might sound absolutely crazy. I know it's not like, this is not things that people talk about. It goes probably against everything you've ever heard. Why would you stop dieting if you're trying to diet? But let me explain how everything kind of works, because it's going to make a lot of sense. And especially if you've been watching this whole series. So all you do, and it's not like you go completely off the diet. All you do, right? So you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time. All you do now is bring your calories up to maintenance. You don't go off the rails. You don't stop tracking. You need to keep tracking. It's important at this point. If you're not tracking your nutrition, you have to be tracking your nutrition if you want to push it now. If you want to get, shredded, if you want the six pack and you want to be, as lean as you possibly can get, now you have to track. It's essential. Your body will beat you. If you try eyeballing things without a systematic approach, your body will always beat you from here on out. You will not win that battle. Trust me, I've tried. I've tried everything. I'm telling you, you will not win. Especially if you're trying to get a six pack, your body will beat you. This goes against your body's physiology, guys. So that's why I wanted to explain what I explained before. So what you do to fight your physiology, you increase your calories just to maintenance. You don't want to gain any weight. That's not the goal. I'm not saying to go off the rails. I repeat, because this takes a little bit of, you have to really want this. You have to know the reason behind this. That way you don't just, start going off the rails, because if you go off the rails, right now is the worst time to do that, because you're going to gain more fat than you would have before, because everything's so low right now. Everything's fighting against you. So if you start binge eating, you're going to gain all the weight you gain back and even more. And you see that happen all the time with people. All the time. That happens all the time. I mean, it's happened to me. It happens to a lot of people. It's very common. So like I stress, so I'm stressing that you just bring your calories up to maintenance. You continue watching the scale. Essentially, you're still on a diet. You're just getting about 400 to 500 more calories a day. And it doesn't sound like a lot, guys, but if you're, following the anabolic diet and you're seeing the foods I'm posting, that stretches out to a big portion of food. And you get your leptin, you increase your leptin because you're increasing the amount of food you're eating. You give yourself a mental break from dieting. There's a lot of, mental negatives that happen as a long-term result of dieting. You feel drained. You don't have as much energy in the gym. Your workouts start suffering. At this point, it starts becoming harder to recover. So this is going to give you a chance to really kickstart that training again. To, maybe you have a busy week at work. Maybe you have an exam. So in my situation, I always included these weeks of, going up to maintenance during exam weeks. That way I can focus on studying. There's no excuse. So sometimes you have to let life win. And a little diet break is the best time to let life win. And that's just going to keep you sane throughout this whole process. And that's why I stress that you need to be patient, because it takes time. And doing things like this will make your journey a little bit longer, but it's going to make it lasting. I'm months after my diet. I'm eating about 3,000 calories a day now. My reverse diet was about 2,500 calories. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm 7 pounds up, but I haven't gained a single pound of fat. If you do this right, you want to do it as slow as possible. Take these diet breaks. That way you can keep your metabolism going fast so that when you get lean, where I'm at now, you can eat, and eat. That way the more food you're putting in your system, the better when you're leaner. That way the more carbs you're eating, the more room to grow, the more energy to fuel your workouts. You see what I'm saying? So I stress that you go slow, and when you feel like you're feeling the effects of the diet, it's been a long time, you've lost a lot of weight, we throw in this diet break, we go to maintenance for a week or two, let it hang out, and you just continue tracking your weight. You be systematic about it and let your leptin increase. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis will increase. Your mental clarity will be better. Your gym workouts will be better. It's going to just give you a little break, right? I don't know why it always has to be, you have to be on one end of the stick. Either you're bulking, either you're cutting. But this middle zone here is like no man's zone. And even for me, I was guilty of this for a long time. But this no man's land maintenance that no one wants to talk about, I think has a lot of use, especially now more than ever. I think it's important to, get to maintenance and understand what it's like to eat without gaining weight or losing weight. That's normal eating. You want to understand how to eat like a normal human being, right? You don't always want to be losing weight. If you're always losing weight, that's the worst thing you could do for your body. Because then your metabolism is just going to keep going down, 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 and you're going to keep adding fat, fat, fat when you rebound. And you'll just progressively get fatter over time. And that's the last thing you want. So these diet breaks are super important. And, if you're watching this and you feel like you can't lose any weight, you've been dieting for a long time and you just can't lose any weight, it's likely your metabolism is going so slow because you've been dieting the wrong the whole entire time. So like I said, go back to episode 1 or shoot me a message and I'll kind of put you in the right direction, because I know how frustrating that can be, because I used to be that kid who could never lose weight no matter what I did, and I was doing it all wrong. So it just had to be a learning lesson for me, and I kept researching, and I love science, so like it works hand in hand with each other. I mean, this fitness thing basically is a science of its own, and that's why I love it, because I love science. I've always loved science. And what can I take from science to apply it to my fitness training, my nutrition? And then whenever you combine the two together, you're gonna win. You can beat your body, right? You can do it. A normal person can do it. You just have to get smart. This is where, having another pair of eyes is really helpful. At this point, your body is gonna be playing so many tricks on you. In your mind, you're gonna think you look worse. You're gonna think you look worse because you're not feeling as good. And you actually likely are looking worse because you're not eating that many carbs, right? Well, what carbs do for your body, right? They get stored as glycogen. That's many carbohydrates. If you've taken biochemistry, if you take many carbohydrates and put them together, that forms glycogen. Where does that glycogen go? It goes right into your muscles. So your muscles are full when you're eating a lot of calories. When you've been on a long deficit, your muscles look flat. They're deflated. They have no energy in them. So they don't look full and filled up with carbs and water. So your mind will be playing tricks on you at this point in the game too. So you really got to start taking an objective approach. You got to really consider what's going on, at physiological level. Like, you got to understand that, hey, maybe I've been in this diet for too long. Maybe it's time to throw in a maintenance break, give myself some time, and then we can hit this hard again. And when you hit it hard again, you'll see that you'll continue dropping at that same rate, but you'll be eating the same amount of calories, and that's exactly what you want. So, this is episode 6, guys. I don't want to make this too long. I can talk about this stuff forever. Eventually, we're going to get some kind of formal podcast, because at this point, I love getting on here and doing this at this point now. I really enjoy it, but we're really going to dive in. I want to start bringing in guests, people who are knowledgeable, friends, peers, people who are in the field. I've already been communicating with people, so hopefully we can get that soon. If you watched it all the way to the end, please leave a message, man. Thank you so much. I hope this was super helpful for you. But yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching. I'm out.